What's up, guys? So today we're here checking out the Corolla, the Cressida. We're gonna start this up, kind of do a little warm-up video on it, and I'll kind of explain what I've got done to this. And then we've also got details on what's gonna happen with the Corolla. I've got my buddy Jake behind the camera today.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Jake. But more or less, we're just gonna talk about these and future plans of both, since a lot of you that are on my channel haven't seen what's done to this or don't know any of the plans. I mean, realistically, you don't know anything about the Cressida, so
it's so cool.
I just want to explain it a little bit. And beyond that too, I started up the Soarer and let it warm up a little bit. So stay tuned for some sweet Jay-Z startup, cold starts actually, because this thing hasn't been started in, geez, it's been 5 months.
Oh my god.
And then that too. Well, no, I guess I started that not long ago. But yeah, so stay tuned, check it out.
Oh, hey, go down. Go down. Go down. Go down. Go down. Okay, stop. Go up.
Sorry.
What was that all about?
There's the latch was on.
It should start right up. It's gonna be nice and cold though. Alright, so what exactly is this Toyota Cressida? It started its life in Oregon. As far as I know, it used to have a different body kit, and it was like white and a bunch of other crap. A guy named Evan Brown, which he's quite popular on Instagram. He's known for as Item B, and he kind of built this car as his team car for Street Magic USA, and it turned into his Thrasher car. He put had Wise, was it Wise Concepts? I can't remember exactly who, but I think it was Wise, did JZX 100 Chaser front end conversion, which is about half missing now. It will close the hood.
It's still cool.
It's still really cool, in which it just has the front end conversion, which is pretty simple. A lot of people ask how this was done. You actually have from about this point down to there and then back, that's still stock Cressida, but then forward, this is X100 Chaser. So it actually fits really well. As far as the car goes, I mean, it's there's really not much on it that hasn't been replaced. Most of the interior is stripped out. Not really by my doing, but you know, a nice Corbeau seat, your typical Grip Royal steering wheel, just basic stuff otherwise, bunch of flare stickers. Some nice SSR Minervas, or however you say that word, I don't know, they're cool, that's why I bought them. I really like those, they're like my favorite wheel. Pretty much all the suspension work done to it is
excessive?
Let's see. Yeah, all the front is excessive. Arms. It has an X7 rack in it. BC extreme lows. In the rear, I have battle version control arms, tension rods, or whatever you want to call them back there. All the excessive bushings. Well, actually, they're not bushings anymore. They used to be bushings. They're now sold as like a ball joint type of like a. It's weird. It's like a spherical joint.
Okay.
And they have like a poly squish on the outside.
What?
Yeah. So more or less.
Okay.
When you're staring at this, in the center, in the center, there's a. God, if this damn thing would focus. There is a spherical ball, and that sits in the middle, and then there's two little squishies on the outside.
So like
so
this
more or less
with bushings out here?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. It's weird. It's really weird.
Okay, so it's like a Heim joint but with bushings.
Yep. And apparently they're really, really stout. So far, I mean, it's insane how stout they are.
Well, when you think about it, it's the bushing now has not travel but movement, because that's what really blows bushings out, is when they get under load compared to where they're tightened down. So if you allow that movement,
Yep.
and it's just absorbing the force of what's going on, not the rotational force, it's a lot better off.
And then it's a 1JZ non-VVTi, big single turbo conversion, R154 behind it, stock Toyota clutch, nothing too awfully crazy.
Who makes the downpipe and that manifold?
So the company is UPP,
Okay.
which is their turbo. It's apparently a precision center section. Eric
Council.
Council.
Eric Council.
He made the manifold and downpipe. I had Brandon did this and the
The wastegate.
wastegate downpipe.
Okay.
But Eric did pretty much the manifold, the external gate off the snail, and the downpipe.
Those always sound so much cooler too.
Yeah,
They
it's-
freaking
it's
the
so
noise
loud.
They pull out. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's crazy.
So the compressor and the exhaust housing are both aftermarket, and it's just a center section of a, did you say whole set?
Precision.
Precision, okay.
Yeah. Well, because like all it really is, they took like I want to say an eBay housing, you know, on both sides.
Gotcha.
But really, it's, you know, their own custom housing that they order from who knows where.
Yeah.
Put their brand on it, and then it's just, you
The
know.
guts.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it's a GT35.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
is what this is. T3.
I have a little bit of a.
It's kind of irrelevant though, because
It's before.
I don't have a map.
Oh yeah, this
Yep,
isn't.
all map.
How is that? I thought these were. Oh no, the non-VVTIs are all map, huh?
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. See, non-VVTI is better, less stuff.
Yeah, always gonna be better. I give Michael a crap for that every time.
That's awesome. And that's always the big debate, is going VVTI or non-VVTI. These, you don't have to deal with the weird throttle body issues either.
No.
There's less wiring.
Well, and this one too is, it's a non-ABS throttle body as well.
Yeah.
So I don't have to deal with that regardless.
Oh, so the non-VVTIs also came with the ABS optional throttle body setup?
Yep.
Oh, okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So this
So like VTIs only came with.
ABS setup.
Yeah.
That was, yeah, it was kind of mandatory at that point and all that. Okay. Does it aftermarket ECU or anything, or is it all
No.
stock?
It is on a piggyback controller, which this. In which a lot of people are like, oh, you know, I don't know why you're still doing that old ass technology, but it's a Pexi AFC Neo, and then an old AFCR, which is a boost controller made
it
by
works.
Pexi, and it works. It works very well. The thing is, this chassis and its engine that's in it, they're all, you know, late 80s, early 90s technology. So why wouldn't I keep the technology that came out specifically for it in the car?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Until I go with like a good aftermarket ECU, like say a Haltech or something.
Yeah,
along those
I
lines.
mean, for what you're doing with it and how much power you're wanting to make, that works perfect. It's reliable, it's cost effective, and it puts down.
Yeah, and if any of you, you know, that are new to the channel want to check out more videos of this car drifting, not only do I have it in my outro, but I also have, we have a bunch of other videos on our Yankee Zoku specific YouTube channel. You can learn more about it and, you know, where I kind of came from, where our roots are from. Jake unfortunately is not in there because his car wasn't running, but I mean, he's a huge part of the team, so you'll see more videos on him, I know that. In regards to the car though, it's just strictly a thrash car. You know, I beat the crap out of it. I need to do a couple things, you know, but I mean nothing too crazy. A couple new doors, because those are all fucked. Maybe kind of redo the fenders, and obviously now I need to relip that rear wheel, but bumpers.
Bumpers. You should get the S14. Is it Origin S14 front bumper you can trim down? I've seen that on. They're kind of pretty universal, but I don't know. I've seen them do it on a lot of like the Chasers and the GS fronts.
The S14 Zenki.
Yeah, Zenki.
Yeah.
And it's just that middle section. If you can get it that has like the middle grill section deleted, that usually looks the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like all you're missing, really. Do you have corners or no?
No, but
you can get some.
Yeah,
yeah, it's not a big
The only issue is now I want to spend all this money on this.
Yeah, this thing's ready to go. You can take this to the track right now and it'll still shred. You don't need to do anything to it.
This though.
This beauty, on the other hand, it needs time and a lot of love.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I think really what I'm gonna do is just pretty much get the front end back together. I have fenders. I can get a cheap bumper.
Yeah.
Though I can get a cheap bumper, I'll probably end up saying screw that, and I'll get I want to do a Koki Treno front bumper, like a true Treno.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Because then I can have like a nice Japanese flare, you know, on the front, and then I'll paint like the bumper on the front black, and then the fenders black. Keep the hood purple. Do the side skirts and rear bumper black.
Yeah, get that two-tone look going.
Yeah.
Like that.
And I'll do some nice small Johnnies on there, maybe some long champs, or I really want to do some like Star Sharks things.
Star Sharks are
getting
kind of hard to find. Long boys are still everywhere.
This Domo has been in here like since day one. He's got like a zip tie around him, so it looks like he's in a seatbelt.
I like how the top half of the zip tie is like looped up like a seatbelt too. It's perfect.
There's like so many little things that I now know I can find for an 86 I couldn't find 7 years ago. Right. You know, like I said, I have the fenders and all of them, so. The only real thing I'm gonna have a hard time with is this.
You could, is it all the way through or no?
It's close.
And it's right on that window seal is the issue.
That's the problem. And we even pulled the window out and tried to like completely remove the rust and it still came back. They do that.
You can get, can't you get fiber hatches for this?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, the one company that I've been looking through to get most of the stuff for this, which is Battle Garage.
Yeah,
Tons of 86 stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what he focuses on pretty much.
Yeah. Well, and it probably has Lexon, and you can get Lexon fitted in it.
Yep.
Do that way, save some weight at the same time.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, this isn't even the heaviest part. It's this window.
Glasses.
Yeah, the glass.
Well, the glass is 99%.
You take that glass out, and apparently it chops out for just a stupid amount. Like, because hatchbacks were heavier than coupes.
Yeah.
Because of all that big pieces of glass back there.
I think your back window is actually bigger than your windshield.
Yeah, probably.
Actually, it is. If you look at the length, it's. I mean, width-wise, obviously the front, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's nuts. Oh, you did is it a mono wiper too? Oh yeah.
Well, actually, I had to do that with 86s. This side swivel point. They like the transmission in there breaks.
Oh. Okay.
And it'll get like stuck halfway up.
Oh no.
So you just do a mono, and they actually look cooler anyways. So.
I like it. Yeah. That's sweet. Heck yeah.
The only thing that I'm kind of bummed out about is like so. Also, this is one single step, and it's still that good.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did it have a hood on it the whole time too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The only thing I'm kind of bummed about is how I bashed that firewall.
You can fix that.
Luckily, I think the beams will sit high enough to where you won't really see it.
Are you gonna move brake lines and all that and kind of tuck that a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, the beams will look pretty in here. Now, as far as trans tunnel and all that, do you know if the beams, does it fit without any issues?
Nope,
or?
you gotta hammer the fuck out of it.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much from like here up to like here or something. That whole side needs to come up.
Yeah. Now, is it the beam trainings that are slightly clocked too? Or I'm sorry, the motor
that's
training.
3S.
That's the 3S. Okay.
Well, excuse me, hold on. So 3S GEs are still beams, but the beams is the one that still is like nearly perfectly vertical.
Perfectly 90. Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to the 3S GEs out of them are 2s. They're the ones that are all like.
Yeah, they're
at like a 60-degree angle or some dumb shit.
Yeah, there's some weird shit. Okay.
But the only problem that people have with beam swap with these is one, the actual cross member sits too high because the motor is so much taller. So you have to lower down the cross member.
You just put spacers along your bolts.
T3 cell spacers that go in that, you know, in between it. Yeah, and they're thick too. I think they're like 1.5 inches or something. So you have to lower it quite a bit.
Gotcha.
Some guys you have to remove. Ironically, mine's already removed. You have to remove the bracing in a couple spots for the valve cover to clear as well. And then also to the exhaust,
hits the steering.
You have to do something totally different. Like most guys make a custom tubular manifold because they won't fit.
Gotcha.
But what's cool is you can buy like Silk Road, or I think TRD have one too. You can buy they're tubular manifolds that they come up more like a horn.
Yeah, they loop.
Yep.
Right.
And you can do that one and modify
the exit point.
The X, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And
it'll go around the right side. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Or just run up the hood and then go across the top of the car and go real bozo with it.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, no, it's a terrible idea. Heck yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm gonna have to like cut off this boy.
That's gonna take some time.
Yeah. I welded that on. Like that was like one of my very first projects I ever did. It was like stupid little, I'm gonna kind of crappily engineer this to where it has like, I purposely made it to where I had to bend this. That way it had a
weak point.
A weak point.
Yeah, it'll shoot up on you.
Yep. Which, I mean, I actually smacked this thing into, the reason the fenders are off and the reason that all the front end is off and the front bumper is destroyed is because I threw it into a ditch at like 65.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can't even really tell. It didn't tweak anything.
No, it did mess up. I don't know if it was just my alignment or if it bent a tie rod or what, but I mean, it messed up the alignment like crazy. And I had a hard time driving it, but I think it was, I don't think the chassis tweaked.
No, it didn't even hit your crinkle points are still perfect. You can see, like where it's supposed to go in, it's fine.
Yep. And as far as 86 chassis go, like this one is really, I mean, it's in really good shape.
Yeah.
The only problem is, and back here, this is between us and all of everybody watching. Back down here, this was really bad. As a matter of fact, there's probably.
I can hear it. Yeah. I can hear it. Is that foam?
Yeah, it's foam. So, and it was. Okay, so that's kind of cracking a little bit right there too. The Bondo. Pretty much from here down, this is like all Bondo. Because we custom, rolled the fenders to where they have a nice
bacon look.
A nice roll to them.
Yeah.
Mainly because, like, see, if you notice right here, this is a nice clean lip.
Yeah.
Right, that comes straight out, as opposed to on the 86s they have the
flat spot.
Yeah, and it's or the factory 86 fenders. I mean, have that.
Yeah. Is that a hydro too?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think put a hydro in it.
I'll take that out though. I don't need it in there now. I got all new interior for it. Not cool. New, but I gotta get. Will you pull up on the trunk lid? Actually, mine just opened. Hey, wait a second. There's another rack in here.
Is it a manual rack?
No, I think it's power. But the only real spot I had a hard time with rust was like down there.
Oh, I see it, yeah.
They all do it right in that spot.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, it's not too bad.
No, it's really not bad. And how long was it sitting outside for? Like 7 years? Or something like that? Or 5 years?
Yeah, right about 7 years.
7 years? Yeah.
But one of my good buddies in South Dakota, he got me pretty much all the rear panels, rear seats, but pretty much everything I need. What's cool too though is like even if I didn't get those, T3 sells all of them now too.
Really?
All those rear panels. Like T3 sells this panel.
What the heck?
Right here.
I didn't know T3 was that developed.
But they're not like a factory looking one. They're like just a flat,
smooth.
Yeah. But they look really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
It's crispy. It's like bacon, but not.
It used to not be that bad.
Oh, I don't want to touch it.
Oh wow. It's gonna happen with the 86 Corolla.
Fiber hatch, man.
True D-Max tails. We really Old true D-Max.
Hey, and by the way, your rear shock strut still works somehow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That thing is heavy though. You can.
Yeah, they're stupid. 2012 was the last time I had this registered.
That's crazy. And so, what was the reasoning between, like, why'd you park it? Did it blow a motor? And did you just want to get something crazier?
I had the 20 valve in it.
Okay.
And I really wanted to upgrade. I wanted more power, and I kind of explained that in my last video.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
It's not that it didn't make enough power. I just wanted more power.
Yeah, you just got that craving.
And so I was gonna put a JZ in it, and then realized that
it's too much.
It was too much. The chassis probably couldn't have really handled it, honestly.
Yeah, and I don't think were beams really a thing that was known in the States?
Because back then 20 valves were like really 20 valves and F20s. The S2000, yeah. The S2000 swap was way too expensive. I mean, back then you were paying more for a F20 swap than you were paying for a whole 86.
Yeah, with a 20 valve in it probably.
With the 20 valve in it, yeah. Like you can find some 86s that are rust buckets with 20 valve swaps for around $3,000 to $5,000, as opposed to one F20 with the tranny and the harness and all that is $7,000 or $8,000.
Yeah.
So it's like I couldn't really see doing it, especially considering I was using this car as a learning chassis for drifting.
Yeah.
But after I've gone through so many of these chassis, and now I realize like the hatchback is my favorite car as far as 86 chassis go. And I'm such a purist that I had to park it and do something different, which is partly why I went to the Cressida. One, I love Toyotas, and I really wanted a big four-door car, so going to Cressida was my next best option.
Yeah.
I really wanted to find a Cressida like yours, but they're just so expensive.
They're not worth it in the aspect of drifting unless you have like $9,000 to put up front, because the rear end's not there, the steering's not there, nothing is there. So these are your best bang for your buck. These are basically like American chasers.
Yeah.
When you look at it, that's the best way to look at them.
And they're plentiful. They're everywhere. You can find some grandpa has one sitting in his backyard that's
with a blown head gasket.
Yep. that's been there for the blown head gasket. That's been there for 5-6 years, and he'll sell it for $1,000, or hell, he might even sell it for $500.
Yeah.
And it's like this chassis, people put them through their paces. I mean, hell, I put this through its paces. I have dropped that rear end off the road so many times, and it's holding up just fine. Like that right there was a good 35-40 mile per hour fucking bang, and that's all it did.
Yeah. It hurt the door. The B pillar looks like it's okay. It went around the B pillar.
Yeah, what's crazy too is it bowed the door out at the was.
Oh, it did. I can see it. Yeah.
So like it still opens, and the window still rolls down. As a matter of fact, the window was down when he hit me.
It didn't shatter the window.
No. That's crazy.
And it still shuts all smooth. It's all.
Yep.
Leave it to Toyota, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and the cool thing about the beams, going back to that, is comparatively speaking, the beams it makes about the same power as a stock F20, right? I mean, if you tune them and get rid of a lot of the emission stuff, you can make like 240-ish, 230-ish.
Yep. Factory, they make 210 at the crank. So I mean,
so
180 something? Yeah. Which is still nuts in an 86, dude.
Well, and the cost. I mean, you can't get a 1J motor alone for under 2 Gs right now.
No.
You can get a beams with ECU, with tranny, everything.
Everything.
Wiring that you have to do for what, $1,200, $1,400 shipped to your door?
Yep.
You can't beat that.
All day.
It's perfect. And it's a 6-speed. You can get on the highway and go
6-speed. That's the best thing.
Yeah.
And like my ultimate plans, which I haven't told anybody on YouTube quite yet, so more or less, all the front suspensions are going to be swapped out with S chassis. All the rear suspensions are going to be swapped out with S chassis. As a matter of fact, have a full S13 rear subframe, and all the front stuff already sitting around, more or less just waiting for me to do it. Got some aftermarket arms, a couple tasteful goodies too. So
it's gonna be sick.
It should be pretty sweet. But the beams is like, there's no way I wouldn't do it just simply because of price. It's
the best bang for your buck.
Yeah, it's unreal how good of price it is.
And like I want to beam swap to Cressida now, because NAJZ makes what, 170 to the wheel? 160?
Yep.
Maybe a little bit more. But it weighs how many more? 100 pounds? Probably 150 pounds compared to a beams, you think? Cast block,
if not more.
2 more cylinders.
I'm willing to almost bet that a entire
well, a beams, we had a beams on a pallet at Mike's shop, and it was 438 pounds with training and ECU and everything.
yeah, okay, so one JZ alone is 420 something pounds.
Without a training.
420, blaze it. No, but for real, they are. They're right around.
They're boats.
Yeah.
Without boost, it's a pointless motor to put into a chassis. And I did it because the cost was effective and everything, but now that the beams are becoming plentiful
and that was a big part of it too. The reason that I decided to not do a JZ is because I knew that JZ to fit in there was going to take a lot of cutting. Yeah, a lot of cutting, and you have to mount the radiator up in the front.
Yeah. It's not even an 8.6 at that point. It's got too much forward weight.
It was just stupid to do it, and not to mention, the only transmission that'll fit in there from behind a JZ would be a W58, and though a W58 would probably handle an 86 just fine, it's
time bomb.
Time bomb.
Yeah, trust me, W58s suck.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, thanks for coming over and chatting, buddy.
Yeah, totally.
And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.
Especially if it got the fully equipped kit on it, it's whoa. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I had this bad chick uptown, she was whoa. Had me messed up in the head, I mean, whoa. Bought the chick diamonds and pearls, I mean, whoa. Should've seen the ice shining on the wrist. Whoa. Now money ain't the bottom, see my dough is like, whoa.